Skyzone.Society.
Yo, what's going on, baby? It's your boy, Big V. Welcome to the Zone Sports Podcast. I'm one half for the host. Like I said, your boy, Big V. You see my guy over there. What's good, boy?
Yo, what's up? It's your boy, Corey, a.k.a. COO. What the hell? Like, man, hey, man. You know what? Just go ahead and tell them who sponsored this, man, because we got some stuff to talk about here, man. You just go ahead and get your plug on, man. I don't even want to. You ain't
got no intro for it. You just ready to jump.
I don't even want the intro because I'm telling you. Hey, hold on. I do got an intro. Tebow. But we gonna get to that. Tebow.
Man.
Oh man, but we gonna get to that. We ain't gonna even you gonna have to cut my time on that one, man. Cause boy, it's so many different angles. That's why I didn't even want to. I'm gonna shut up right now.
Man,
you tell them who we brought to. Tell us who sponsors us, bro. That's what you do. You know I got a damn motor mouth.
Let's go, man. You already know who we sponsored by. The only one, the only brand, my brand, Skyzone.Society. Make sure you're shopping at Skyzone.Society.bigcartel.com. You see it's at the bottom of your screen right there. You know what I mean? Log on for your hats, your tees, your candles, your sweats. We got everything over there, man. You know what I mean?
Editing.
Let's jump into this sports talk, man. You already know. Let's get into the zone.
Let's do it.
Yo, first off, man, let's just keep it NBA. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Last night, you know what I mean? First of all, you know, we recording this on actually May 11th. You know what I mean? So last night on May 10th, my boy Russell Westbrook broke that triple-double record. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he did.
You know what I mean? Surpassing the great Oscar Robertson. The big O. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Man, Corey, give me your thoughts because matter of fact, I'm gonna give you my thoughts first, Corey. Because you know what, Corey? I got a bone to pick.
Let's do it.
You know what, man? This is supposed to be a celebratory moment. Because you know, Russell Westbrook is one of my favorite players ever.
Okay. Yeah.
And when I got the news, because last night I couldn't see the game. I don't have the the league pass. I catch the games that come on TV. And I didn't see that one on TV. And if it was on TV, I was just too tied up with everything I got going on. So it came through last night when I was browsing past ESPN.
Yeah.
And, he had broke the record for 182 triple doubles. I want to stop it right there for a minute. 182 triple doubles. Ladies and gentlemen, for those that are listening that may not know what a triple double is. In basketball, when you have double-digit stats in 3 categories, it is considered a triple-double. For example, a man can have 10 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists. He has 182 of those. Corey, I was happy for him. I still am.
Yeah.
Elated, man. Yeah. You know what it is for somebody to pass a legend like Oscar Robertson.
Yeah.
Like, Corey,
that's a big deal.
If that doesn't say Hall of Fame, I don't know what does, Corey. I really don't.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said last night, I saw it on TV. I said, oh my God, this is legendary. Salute to him. I think they ended up losing the game. Even though they ended up in a losing effort, he still broke the record. It happens. Man, I'm so happy for him because of what he's been through from his days at UCLA. Playing on a not put together super team with the young James Harden and Kevin Durant when they were with the Thunder.
Right.
They almost won a championship with each other. He was a
Yeah.
major influence in that time and that run that the Thunder had. I love how, you know, when Durant left, he stayed and tried to steer the ship down there in OKC. When it didn't work out, he still got love from and for OKC when he went on his journey to be a Rocket. And for whatever reason, you know, things didn't work out down there in Houston with him, and now he's on to be a Wizard. A lot of people went ahead and wrote Westbrook off when he became a Wizard. But if you pay attention, he down there hooping like usual, obviously. So with everything he's been through and him being a controversial player, quote unquote, and a hothead and all the other things that other commentators label him to be, other podcasts may label him to be. I salute the man. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm gonna keep saluting him, man. You got 182 triple doubles. That is major. Corey,
huge.
I'm pissed off. Bro.
Okay, why you pissed off, brother? Talk to the people.
Corey, last night, well, like I told you, I was ecstatic for him. Still am.
Yeah.
But boy, am I pissed off.
Yeah.
Corey, I woke up this morning, got my little girl ready for homeschool, and when she had a Zoom meeting, I went in the room and got some got me a break, little daddy time. So I cut on I grabbed my phone, check my messages, get on Twitter, and that's where my pistivity begins. Corey, I log on to Twitter to see so much Russell Westbrook slander that it's not even fucking funny.
Yeah.
I see and hear things such as, so what? I'm actually going to find a thread I want to read straight from that pissed me off.
All right.
Let me find this because this is important. I don't want to misquote what stupid motherfuckers are saying.
Yeah.
So the NBA posted a post on Twitter last night that says, let me read it because it said, actually it was from pardon me. It was from this one is from Sports Center 19 hours ago. So Russell Westbrook's last 5 games, 14 points, 21 rebounds, 24 assists. 29 points, 12 rebounds, 17 assists. And they go down and just run down the triple double. And they say the definition of sprinting through the finish. Corey, I want to read some comments under here. If you watch the games, though, they are even playing basketball. They are playing get Russ a triple double ball.
Oh boy.
Someone says, no rings, tough scene. Someone says, I'm gonna go to another one, another post by the NBA who was actually was complimenting Westbrook and the things that he did.
Yeah.
People say that. I want to go to a specific one. I want to quote, and still won't win a championship. He's a stat pattern.
Yeah.
So what? Stat stuffers don't win rings. How many NBA championships did all these triple doubles get him or the team he was on? Basketball is a team sport. If individual stats don't bring a championship, then that's all they are. Just stats. Overrated player. Wait to see what happens during the playoff season.
Okay.
I could name a few more that piss me off, but we don't necessarily have the time or the energy to entertain such nonsense.
Yeah.
Corey, I would just want to know what world do we live in where people are criticizing and belittling a player for surpassing Oscar Robertson with 182 triple
That's huge.
doubles.
That's huge. Regardless of how you feel, that should be respected.
Corey, I want to repeat that. Surpassing Oscar Robertson with 182 triple doubles. I just don't. What pisses me off, Corey, is I just don't understand this world that we live in.
Yeah.
When a man literally averages a triple double for the past 4
years.
4 seasons. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know how many games there are in an NBA season, let me tell you, they are 82 fucking games in an NBA season. And guess what? If you don't know what 82 times 4 is, let me tell you what it is real quick. 82 times 4 is this. 328. 82 times 4. 328. 328 games. He has averaged a triple double. I don't give a fuck if he has a championship, Corey. The man for the past 4 years has averaged a triple double. What the fuck are you people talking about on Twitter? I don't care if he has a ring. You show me, and keep in mind, this is from the point guard position. Russell Westbrook is labeled a point guard. For the past 4 seasons, he has averaged a triple double. Hey, stupid motherfuckers on Twitter. Show me somebody else who has done that. Go ahead. Show me. Championship or not. Show me. Tell me. I got time to wait. What money bag gonna say? I just looked at my watch. I got time today. Tell me. Let me know. Let me know in the past 4 years. Matter of fact, give me the past 10. Who's done it? Who's done it? The past 10 years, who has came close to average a triple-double? Corey, I want to put things in perspective right quick, right? Right before I came on, I was watching ESPN The Jump. They had Richard Jefferson, he was on there, with Rachel Nichols and also the legendary Vince Carter. You know what Vince Carter said? He said, you know how many triple doubles I've had in my career? 5. You know what Richard Jefferson said? You know how many triple doubles Richard Jefferson had in his career? 1. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to read. I want to read. I want to read how many years Vince Carter was in the league.
Ooh,
I'm gonna read it to y'all. because I want to be clear. Vince Carter played 22 seasons in the NBA, y'all. I want to repeat that real quick. Vince Carter played 22 seasons in the NBA and had 5 triple-doubles. But I'm not done. I want to read how many years Richard Jefferson played. Because I want to put some things in perspective real quick. Because the blasphemy that people are sending Russell Westbrook today, I'm not having. I'm not having. Richard Jefferson. Richard Jefferson, let me see, played in the NBA from 2001 to 2018. Of course, it's about 17 years. If my mouth serves me correctly, and I'm pretty sure it will because I'm using an iPhone, 22 plus 17 equals 39. 39 combined NBA years, they average 6 triple-doubles in 39 years. Corey, my man did it in 4 seasons. 39 years, the legendary Vince Carter and Richard Jefferson put together 6 triple-doubles. One man did it. 182 of them in 4 years. And they have Russell Westbrook slander? Corey, your thoughts, man. I'm done. I'm done.
All right. Let me take this all the way from the top here. I'm more of a team guy in regards of fandom than I am of an individual player guy. So me, I've always had mixed reviews of Russell Westbrook's game as a whole. I think that there's 2 trains of thoughts on this here, from what you're talking about and from what the infamous Bluebird known as Twitter may be talking about. I kind of pan myself on being kind of in the middle. I never been like the diehard Russell fan, but I never like, oh, get this guy out of the league, he's trash either, because that's impossible to say. So let me go ahead before I even get into my thoughts. I want to clarify to say, 1, he's a Hall of Famer. Period, point blank, period. 2, the triple-double should and will be celebrated, rightfully so. You don't do 4 out of 5 years by accident. That is hard to do, whether quote unquote gassing or padding stats or whatever. So my deal is this: looking at him with really a young squad, people. I mean, look, should OKC have won one? Gosh, man, you're talking about the tail end. Antonio still doing their thing. That's just in the West. The West has always been tough. I think had they been in the East, OKC I'm speaking of, they would have probably had more cracks at it as a group together. And then when they did make the finals, I mean, they ran into Miami, which nobody really wasn't beating them. I think Dallas was lucky to beat them the first go round. And then like a San Antonio, who is capable of beating Miami during the early 2010 era. So, you know, so you got a few things going on. So one end, you could look at it like, well, he played with Kevin Durant and James Harden. Well, all right. Well, James Harden was coming off the bench. One. It's like, okay, well, cool. Well, okay, what happened with James Harden in Houston? We really don't really know, you know, in that regards or whatnot, or what really happened. So that's going to always be a mystery. So I'll give you a case in point. When LeBron first came to the Lakers, he was breaking all types of records, like scoring records. I cannot remember who he passed, but he matter of fact, no, I think it was I want to say he passed Kobe in all time scoring at one of those games. And we lost that game. We lost that game and we didn't make the playoffs. This is why I say I'm more of a team guy than a player guy, because I'm not into individual stats per se. But they ought to be celebrated and respected. And I think that's where the issue is coming in with Westbrook, because if you are a diehard Russell Westbrook fan, you're going to champion every single thing that he's doing. If you're a team guy, it's like, well, damn, man, this is cool. Like when LeBron did that in LA a few years ago, where he passed Kobe on the scoring chart or whatnot, I really couldn't give a damn. We lost. We're not going to the playoffs. Like that doesn't do anything for me, right? Now, that being said, if you hate, like if you're on the other side of Russell Westbrook and you hate him, it's like, oh, well, triple double don't mean anything. And it's like, well, no, I can't. That's now to say that triple doubles don't mean anything. Now that's just hate. That's surely hate. Now, that being said, I think, and here's why I always had a mixed bag of his game. I don't think he makes the players around him. I don't think as a leader, because I look at him as a leader. Anytime you go to a squad, I look at him as a leader, and I don't see him making this team better, elevating like a LeBron or Michael Jordan. But again, we're having separate conversations here, because the conversation on ESPN was, should he be considered a top 5 point guard and stuff like that. And we could get into how when Oscar Robertson played, it was really position based, whereas now it's more of positionless basketball with that. Now, we talked about it on the podcast last week, how I can't remember his height, but he's not that tall. And gas and stats or not, one of those averages of the triple doubles are rebounds. So that's showing me one thing. He's crashing the boards on the defensive end to even get those, right? He's scoring at least 10 points offensively, and he's getting at least 10 assists. So when I say that he's not making his teammates better, I'm mostly focusing on the earlier part of his career, where I felt like, in my opinion, he took a shitload of bad shots instead of kicking it to the open guy. I feel that he has, what do I like to call it? The daddy look at me syndrome. And what I mean by that is that, hey man, look at me. I'm nice too. I felt a lot of that when he was playing with Kevin Durant in OKC. Like, oh, whoa. Oh, you think KD's nice? Man, I'm just as nice as him. Let me go ahead and jack up some threes real quick. You know, and it's kind of like, whoa. To me, a leader, and I'm not saying that he's not, but it's kind of going back to the OKC days. And look, I'm not saying that Kevin Durant is the easiest person in the world to deal with, like with Twitter burners and stuff like that. Like, he could definitely either be a straight up prick or a passive aggressive bastard, depending on what day. So we let Kevin Durant off the hook a lot during the early years of OKC. What we're seeing now with Kevin Durant is a manifestation of probably of who he's always been. You know, he just kind of had the shield on, doing the politically correct. I mean, commercials, yada, yada, yada. So going back to that, I felt like that there was times where he tried to outshine Kevin Durant. And I think that's where a lot of the disdain may have come from. There's definitely been times during the playoffs in OKC where Kevin Durant's wide open, and Kevin Durant is probably the best mid-range game that I've probably ever seen, period. He could score from anywhere. He could create his own basket. In other words, you need to recognize that Kevin Durant is the best player on OKC. If you want to be a 1B, if you want to be a number 2, that's fine. So I think that's what some of the disdain. Now, let's go ahead and fast forward it going into when Kevin Durant left. I think he learned the era of his ways in the sense of, man, yeah, you know what, man? I do need to do a better job of getting my teammates involved. That's how the assist numbers start going up. So even though I felt like he was, because I felt like he was more of a ball hog early in his career. Once he got that first year of triple doubles, that kind of shut me up on that. Because it's like, well, you can't be a ball hog and average 10 assists. Like, that's an oxymoron. It doesn't make sense. So I felt like he learned the error of his ways. Now, when KD left, there wasn't really a good nucleus of guys. Steven Adams, yeah, but it wasn't really that number two guy, in my opinion, that you could have counted on while he was still in OKC, or whatnot. So I'm not going to knock him for not having a championship, because if we're going to knock him for that, then we need to knock Reggie Miller, one of my favorite three-point shooters. We need to knock Charles Barkley. We need to knock John Stockton and Karl Malone. We need to knock all those guys, because it is something to be said about the era from which you're in. So now let's move forward to Houston. I thought Houston was more experimental, because I'm like, well, wait a minute. James Harden, he's the de facto point guard, even though he's probably more so listed as a shooting guard. But this is what I'm talking about, the position basketball that was played like in the 90s and before, to where it's now more positionless basketball. Because I'm like, well, wait a minute. Well, now him and James Harden, now they both like to have the ball in their hand. Whereas Russell, he can't really create a shot, whereas James Harden can. So I really didn't think that was a good mix. And we all know that James Harden run the show. A quick little tidbit, when they was both in Houston, James Harden would show up to meetings late, and Russell is like, oh, whoa, where they do that at? Like, where is it? Oh, he'll be here. And it's like, well, okay, well, if we shouldn't have to wait for him let's go ahead and get the practice started. And then he gets in here when he gets in here. And it's like, no, we got to wait for James. So, I don't think a lot is made of the fact that, look, man, this guy lives and breathes basketball. He don't do none of that load management stuff at all. He quoted, "The basketball is my best friend," right? Like, he is a throwback Renaissance player of the 90s. He really is. And I think with newer fans or people who just hate him, if you're looking for something, that is the de facto argument. Oh, well, he got all these triple doubles, or where he got a championship. Well, two things can be true. Yes, he don't have a championship, but you don't average that. You don't average 4 years out of 5 years. You just don't do that. I could try and I couldn't do that in my backyard, So, with him, you're either going to love him or hate him. There's no middle ground. And for some reason, he is polarizing. Now, he's polarizing to me, but mostly because of what he did in the earlier career. He may not give the best interviews, where he may rub reporters the wrong way. He may give snarkly, prickly answers. I think that's some of where it's coming from. So, again, when we're talking about the triple doubles, we got to separate everything else. We can't talk about the lack of rings. We can't talk about any of that stuff. What we should be talking about is the achievement, but that's not what happened. ESPN and Fox, all they did today was like, well, Scott Brooks didn't do him in a favor. I mean, dude, you're not the second greatest point guard ever behind Magic. Now that's that. Look, when you're a coach, you appease to your stars. That's what Scott Brooks is supposed to do. So it ain't like Russell said it. Russell's doing his thing. Russell has never been, and I'm not saying you deserve an award for this, but he never been in trouble with the law. He never sat out on games that he didn't play, right? He plays 100 miles an hour, and that's where part of me is kind of like, yo, that's good, but you getting older. You might need to work on your jump shot a little bit more. Case in point, last night, while he got the record for triple doubles, it came down to the lack of decision making that he could have. It all came down to one shot. Washington had the ball, and Russell had a chance to drive left for a layup, hoping for a foul with basically like 5 seconds to go in the game. Yeah. He didn't do that. He jacked up a three. He's not a good 3-point shooter. That's the issue that I have him as a totality, is his decision making in the clutch. That being said, you got to ask yourself, would you want him to be the point guard for your team? I would not, but I would. And here's the thing too. I'm not saying that he's at the point in his career where he needs to come off the bench, but I do think he needs to do a better job of decision making, because the first gripe I had, ball hog. Okay, well that's settled. Now I need you to have being it because he is an elite player. Okay, let's not get that twisted. Being that he's an elite player, I'm going to hold him to higher standards to make better decision making in the clutch of that shot last night. Last night goes in, you got a better option. You only needed 2 points to win. Why are you going 4-3? You know, so it's the dichotomy of that. Now, going down to Washington, where I ain't gonna front, I read them off. I'm like, man, shit, there ain't no way in hell that's gonna do. First of all, it's Washington. That's number one. Okay, yeah, Bradley Beal. Okay, well, how are these two gonna work? And then it's like the first couple of weeks, you hear Bradley Beal singing the man's praises. Nobody in the NBA has a bad thing to say about Russell Westbrook. You know, you could go back to the scuffle. Well, not even the scuffle, the confrontation that him and KD had when KD first went to Golden State.
I'm coming.
If I'm an OKC fan, that's what I want. There's nothing wrong with that. And if that's the worst thing you got to say about Russell is that, okay, well, look, what let me ask you this. What stars are not sometimes prickly with the media? Hey, I may be prickly with any damn body depending on what type of day I'm having. So, you know, to close out, look, if you love Russell Westbrook like you do, you're going to be severely annoyed at, okay, look, why can't we just let this man live with the fact that he's averaging triple doubles out of 4 out of 5 years? If you hate him, well, you ain't got no ring, blah, 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 blah. Look. There's a whole bunch of role players that got rings that probably didn't deserve them. And then if you're in the middle like me, it's like, okay, well, look, let's just take a step back and be like, yes, he's a good player. He does need to do better decision making. He needs to, as he gets older, I don't know how often he's going to be able to slash to the rim like he does, because well, he's like in his the 32, 33, something like that. That's going to continue to slow down. So I would love to see him develop a better mid-range games when he does that. But in regards to getting his teammates involved, obviously he does that. You get rebounds, offensive and defensive. Those keep the possessions alive. You got to give a man his props. And that's again, as a person who's lukewarm, you got to give him his props.
And that's all I'm saying, Corey. Like, miss me with all the bullshit about he's not a team player.
Yeah.
You don't average a triple-double without being a team player. And I'm going to close out with this stat right here, man. Last night, even though they lost, since the Twitter people want to say he's a stat pattern and he's not a team player or what else, you damn right he's a stat pattern. Let me tell you what the motherfucker did last night. 28 points, 13 rebounds. Get this. 21 assists. I digress.
There you go. That's teammates getting involved, if you ask me.
Absolutely.
That's teammates getting involved.
Absolutely, man. You know what I mean? We're gonna switch it over to the NFL real quick though. And
yeah.
You know, I'm gonna kick back on this topic right here because
yeah.
You know, it's about your squad. You know what I mean? The 49ers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
My
so
peeps.
I don't really have an opinion on this because I didn't really get a fair chance to see the 49ers this season. And they you know, I don't have the NFL League Pass or whatever. I can't think the game just come on TV or I catch the scores with it come across my phone and things like that. So the 49ers don't really get a lot of action here if you don't have the NFL pass or whatever.
And that's why I got it, the Sunday ticket. That's exactly why.
So I can allow you to speak to this topic of should the 49ers consider re-signing Richard Sherman. You know what I mean? You know, this is you know what I mean, the contract time and you know that they're talking about maybe bringing them back. Should they or should they not? I just want to hear from a dedicated 49ers fan. You know what I mean?
All right.
What are your thoughts? You know what I mean? Should they bring them back, Corey, or should they trade them away to somebody like the Colts? You know what I mean?
Well, here's the deal. Okay. I've been a lifelong 49ers fan since like 87, 88, whenever I started playing Tecmo Bowl, as we discussed in the last one. So I live this team. I am one of the idiots who will pay, hundreds of dollars to DirecTV for Sunday ticket just to see my 49ers play and me get annoyed every single Sunday. So I'm really about this life. My wife and I took a trip out to Santa Clara and caught a 49ers game back in 2014. 49ers Hall of Fame Stadium, all that stuff. Went to the store, spent hundreds of dollars on 49ers gear. Yeah, I got issues with my fandom. And
by the way, I know you don't know this, but the people are hitting me up. All the 49ers fans that are watching the show, they're trying to tell me to tell you, keep rocking the 49ers gear. They loving it out here. But go ahead.
I probably got about maybe 8 or 9 49ers hats and looking to get more. But anyway, this ain't about my fandom. This is about Richard Sherman. A little bit of history with myself and Richard Sherman, even though he don't know who the hell I am. He could care less of the ground that I walk on and the fact that I even exist. When the Seattle Seahawks beat the 49ers in the NFC Championship game to go to the Super Bowl, obviously, he was going against Michael Crabtree. And my disdain for Richard Sherman, I always thought he had a big mouth, but he was a guy that if he was on my team, I would love that. But being that he's not on my team, I don't really give two shits about him at that time. And he told, I want to say the lady's name was Erin Andrews, don't you ever try me with a sorry receiver like Michael Crabtree. Now, that is going to go down in history. And that's going to go down in the histories of one of the greatest post-game rants of all time, and it was against my 49er brethren, Michael Crabtree. Now, let's go ahead and back up a little bit more.
Okay.
With me having hindsight to analyze the scenario, I really don't think it was a slight at the 49ers, as more so if it was individually against Crabtree. I've seen Michael Crabtree. He's a real quiet guy. He talks trash, but the way he comes off, it could kind of rub you the wrong way. And then you got a super alpha guy like Richard Sherman. And we just keep in mind, I'm just dealing with the loss of not even going to the Super Bowl, but getting sent the fuck back home. And then our division rival, the Seattle Seahawks, led by the Legion of Boom, Richard Sherman, is taking our spot. Now, all right, that's over and done with. We have a Thanksgiving game against the Seattle Seahawks or whatnot. And the players of the game, they get to eat a big-ass turkey leg on Thanksgiving, where I think Fox had it, where they go to the center of the field and they just have big-ass turkey legs of the player of the game offensively and defensively. Well, guess who was the defensive player of that game? It was Richard Sherman. Now, here's what makes matters even worse. They kicked our ass in Santa Clara, in San Francisco, Levi Stadium. If I'm not mistaken, I want to say this was either the first or second year of us having a new Levi Stadium. It was built in 2014. And so now all I see is Richard Sherman eating a big-ass turkey leg. Thanksgiving is supposed to be a day of festive nature. And I'm pissed because this Richard Sherman bastard's eating a big-ass turkey leg right on the 49ers emblem. So now let's fast forward a bit. He comes to the San Francisco 49ers. Well, I don't like him. Period, point blank. I don't like him because he came from Seattle, and I don't like what he did with Crabtree, even though Crabtree probably deserved it. I don't know what was said in between the lines. It's none of my business. So I'm like, well, okay. Well, look, if we could get another year or two out of him, whatever. That I think that's a good look. We're not breaking the bank for him with things of that nature. So even when he intercepted a couple of passes, I'm like, damn, that bastard Richard Sherman got us the ball back. Like That's great. Good for the bastard. I'm glad the bastard is on our team, and I'm glad the bastard is getting us interception. Man, I tell you what, that bastard still got something left, man. That son of a bastard, man. I'm telling you, man. Well, I think Richard Sherman, the bastard, could really have a good effect on our team and the young players there. I love the bastard for that, even though he's still a bastard, or whatnot. And so my bags are, is he good for the team? The short answer is yes, because he still has enough left to affect and to make the quarterback think twice when throwing to the right side of the field. The issue is that he stays injured more now than he's on the field, right? So me as a fan, I think he's good for the team morale in regards of getting the defensive guys intact. Even though he's not the player that he once was with Seattle, or maybe even your first or second year with the 49ers, he still has to be respected on the field of what he can do. Now, he's not going to get you an interception every game. No one does. There are times where you can see that the age is catching up to him where he gets beats, especially on out routes and post routes or whatnot. He gets beats on that, so his age is catching up to him. But I do think that he is still good to have on the team. Now, that being said, he doesn't have an agent. He does his own contracts, period. So it's going to be really about what the open market can offer him versus what we can. I'm not 100% sure of our salary cap. I know Kittle, he's paid, like he's maxed out. You got a couple of other defensive guys like a Bosa. They're going to be coming up soon, cap wise, or whatnot. So we're not going to break the bank for him. But me personally, I would love it if the bastard could stick around for another year or two. I really would. But you got to also understand that, man, look, he's getting injured every year. And when he's injured, he's like out for like 4 or 5 games at a time. So if I was him, if I was the bastard, I would be trying to secure the bag at this point in my career. There's been rumor that he wouldn't mind going back to Seattle or whatnot. I'm not sure how that'll work, being that him and Pete Carroll had issues, and Pete Carroll's a defensive guy and stuff like that. I would really love for him to stay, though. I would love for him to stay because I think he could really. We still got a young defense. We don't really have a veteran defense per se. So I think his impact on the younger guys there would be good. And I do think that it's worth a roster spot because of, you can never forget what he was, especially in Seattle. Again, there's still some games where, man, and the thing about it, when you get glimpses of the flash from the blast from the past, you don't have to be the whole game. Man, we just get us one interception every 4 or 5 games. I'll live with that. Whatever. And he can still do that. So I would love to have him back.
And the thing is, the thing is too, man, you mentioned, he might not get an interception every game, and sometimes it look like he might get beat on out routes. I mean, truthfully, that's who Richard Sherman, that's who he is. He may get beat on the out route, but here's the thing: he's not giving up any explosive plays. That's for damn sure. That's for sure. Nobody. Right. And again, he's still to be feared. People still don't throw to that side, and that's why he's really not getting interceptions. Truthfully told,
you cut that field in half. That's exactly right. Good point.
For real, and I mean that's to be respected.
Real good point.
And every time I watch him, people say, you don't really notice him. That's because they're scared to throw it to him. You know what I mean? That's because they're fucking scared to throw it on that side. So yeah, it may look like it may when they catch the out route. It's probably because he done fell asleep over there waiting on you motherfuckers to throw it over there to him. I would be too. I mean, I might picture you over there waiting on y'all to throw it on my side, build a house or some shit, because they never throw it at Richard Sherman. Even me as a sometime watcher of the 49ers or wherever he's playing at, I check for him. And I'd be like, yo, damn. Yeah. Is he still on this team? Let me check the roster. Oh, there he is on the sideline. Yeah. Oh, okay. I might notice him when they throw it for like a little 7-yard out. You know what I mean? Real quick, and they catch it, and they say, "Oh, catch by such and such on Richard Sherman." I might catch his dreads. Oh, there he is. Oh, But I never see nobody running down the field for a 75-yard bomb on him. That's for damn.
There you go.
So,
so that's true.
So
and it's something to be said because he doesn't, people criticize him a lot about where he don't follow receivers. Well, I mean, it depends on what the game plan is. I think it's something to be said about cutting off a half of a field and compressing and condensing everything to the left-hand side of the field. So I don't knock him for that. I don't knock the bastard for playing one side of the field. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing, okay, if he don't switch, okay, say like he don't follow receivers, his job is to be on the best fucking receiver out there. Let's put that in perspective. And if the scheme doesn't call for him to follow him, so be it. He's following the team scheme at the moment. So I mean,
that's right.
I hope he makes whatever decision is best for him, whether he signs with y'all or come over.
He's a smart guy.
He come over to
He's
the
smart.
Colts.
He'll make the best decision.
Yeah, he can come over to the Colts. We got him. We'll pay him. Come on, we got you.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's in the AFC. That'll work. Yeah, as long as he ain't in the NFC, I'm cool with that.
You know what I mean? We're gonna keep an eye on. I know you're gonna keep your eye on that. You know what I mean? We might have to bring him up again. You know what I'm saying? And
we can bring the bastard up again whenever you want to, man. That's not a problem.
Yeah, and speaking of again,
I've been waiting for this all day.
You know what?
T.
Ladies and gentlemen,
the boy.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you've been under a rock for the past maybe 36 hours, if you've been under a rock, and if you care, might I add, the Jacksonville Jaguars are planning to sign Tim Tebow as a tight end. Corey.
Yeah.
Since you're so hyped about this topic, I'm going to let you speak on it first, brother.
All right. My man.
How do you feel about Urban Meyer reconnecting and signing Tim Tebow as a tight end?
I don't think it's a good look at all. I think we heard about this, but when he's planning to sign a contract, and let me get the number right, it's going to be a 1 year, which is, it is the numbers aren't quite out yet with the contract. It's going to be a 1 year. It ain't going to be a lot.
Right.
There are so many different ways to come at this. All right. It's not a good look because of a few things. One, he never played tight end since like high school, if I'm not mistaken, from what they're saying. My biggest beef with this is that when he was in the league, people try to get him to play other positions other than the quarterback. And he said, no, I don't want to do that. I'm either in the quarterback or that's it. And it's like, okay, well, all right. Well, cool. Well, you might need to go to the CFL and this, that, and the third. And no, I want to be an NFL quarterback. That's my dream. So that more so than anything kind of gets me going. Now, just like I did with Russell Westbrook, let me give you a little bit of history with Tim Tebow. My former boss was a Florida Gators fan, huge Florida Gators fan. So there wasn't a day that went by that we didn't talk about Timothy Tebow. He loved Tim Tebow so much, and I do too. He's a guy that if I had a daughter, age notwithstanding, he could date her. He's the type of he's the prototype of a guy who, like, you know what, man?
He's a stud. He's a stud, man. He's a stud. He's an A1.
I offer you my son, my daughter. I offer her to you. Okay, that's the type of guy.
What a guy!
I would dream. What a swell, golly, George. Gosh, darn it. He's just a great human being. So the deal is this, Timothy Tebow. I read his book. My boss was like, hey, man, read the man's book. I'm an
Okay.
avid book reader. I read the man book. And let me tell you something, man.
Okay.
Tim Tebow is one of the hardest working son of a guns you're ever going to see, hear, speak, or even imagine of. Tim Tebow is a beast. Okay. And I told my boss, I told him this back when Tebow was in the league. I said, look, man, I don't know anything about this quarterbacking stuff with him. I don't know about that. But I said, when it is all said and done, Tim Tebow is going to be one of the greatest NFL athletes to ever grace the field. That's what I told him.
Okay.
And my prediction went to shit because he will only play quarterback. Now I said, now, boy, now hold on, boss man. I ain't say he was going to be the greatest quarterback that ever, like, and I said, even if it is, we got a bit of a learning curve going on here. Like, we got to do a couple of things here with this. But, you know, he turned his nose up at playing another position. I think they wanted him at once upon a time rumored at either fullback, halfback, or tight end. I remember hearing tight end before. And he just, you know, didn't want to do it. Now, whether he was too good to do it or whether he wanted to do it or not, my thoughts back then was that, well, you know what, man? Look, this is the NF freaking L, dog. You got to do whatever it takes to stay in the league because you act like quarterbacks don't go down every single year. Most teams only carry 2 quarterbacks, right? And a lot of times teams will have an emergency quarterback on their roster that's obviously playing another position. Right. And he didn't want to do it. But now you do. Why? Well, he went to baseball and it didn't work out. But see, now let's go ahead and talk because, you know, everybody's like, well, it wasn't a bigger deal made about when he went to baseball. All right, cool. Ain't nobody make a big deal when Michael Jordan went and played baseball. Okay, well, time out. Let me stop that right there. Let me go ahead and stop that right there. Okay. First of all, baseball has a minor league farming system. Okay. MLB players, they go down there when they are designated or even when they drafted, they may spend years down there. So it's not like when Jordan played for the Chicago White Sox that he was on their actual roster day in and day out. He played for their minor league affiliate. The same deal with Timothy Tebow. He played for the New York Mets minor league affiliate. Okay. Now let's go ahead and add a little bit more to this. Well, it wasn't a big deal when Jordan did it. Well, first of all, that's a lie. It was a big deal when Jordan did it.
It was a big
deal. It was a huge deal. Keep in mind, when he did this, won't no Twitter. I mean, cable won't quite where it is right now. Everybody didn't have phones and cameras in their pocket. Let me tell you something. It was a big freaking deal. Not only that, it was a big deal because Jordan was the greatest of all time at basketball, right? Now, someone on ESPN made a real good point today. They was like, you could sit here and try to compare Michael Jordan leaving the Bulls to go play baseball. Jordan won't gone for no 6 years, bro. Jordan wasn't de facto away from the game of basketball for 6 years. Tim Tebow was 6 years. And then not only is he away from 6 years, he comes back to a position where he turned his nose up at a couple of years ago, and he's going to a position that he's not going to play. Like, look, man, look. We all know the deal between Urban Meyer and Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow is like a son to Urban Meyer, and I'm quite sure Urban Meyer is like a father figure to Tim Tebow, right? And if you want to call it that. That's fine. But the fact of the matter is that, in my opinion, you have tight ends who probably played tight ends since high school and all through college. We don't even know what Kyle Pitts is going to be for Atlanta, if I'm not mistaken, where he got drafted by. And he's a stud at tight end, Kyle Pitts. We don't know what he's going to be. Now, that being said, I think 2 things are going to happen because, for one, he's not officially on the team. but that's a formality. He's going to make the team. There's no way in hell that Urban Meyer is going to be the reason he doesn't make the team. If Tim Tebow don't make the team, it's going to be because Tim Tebow is probably going to be like, man, you know what, man, I don't really feel like bringing all this attention to the team. Herb, this ain't what I want for you, yada, yada, yada. I'm going to gracefully bow out and step out, man. Sorry for the inconvenience. But if it's up, Urban Meyer still wanted to keep the strength and conditioning coach who made racial epithets towards black folks at one of those colleges. So you look how hard it took for him to be like, oh gosh, well maybe this isn't a good idea. So with Tim Tebow, man, listen, the NFL isn't like the NBA, and here's what I mean by that. I can even argue the MLB, but I'm more versed in rosters of the NFL and the NBA. In the NBA, Big V, it's rare that the person at the end of a bench of a 12 to 15 man rotation really ever gets on the floor. And if he does, it's garbage time, right? And the deal is that really in the NBA, if need be, the NBA is kind of a hybrid. We just talked about positionless positions in the NBA. But, you know, we got, let's just say, for example, our Lakers. Yeah, no, Anthony Davis plays the 4. But if need be, we could slide him into the 5. The NFL ain't really like that. You can't slide a wide receiver into a running back and or vice versa. No. So the point I'm getting at is only 53 rosters 53 man roster that has to be divvied up between the quarterback, running back, offensive line, defensive line, punters, kickers, special teams, middle linebackers. I mean, the list goes on and on. Left tackle. I mean, you don't have that luxury of giving up a roster spot on that. So now I want to give a shout out to Molly Curran on First Take because she had a real good point that I really didn't think about, because right now we're all running with the energy and the shock of wait, he's about to sign a contract? What the hell? Her thoughts were that, well, you know what, maybe Urban Meyer is using him as a extension of a coach in the locker room. Kind of similar to what we were just talking about with Richard Sherman. And I'm like, yeah, that could be the case, because sometimes, first of all, coaches don't really have access to the locker room like a player would. And I do think that the point that Molly made is extremely fair or whatnot. But the NFL locker room, to me, I think is just a different beast. And I'm not saying that she don't have a point. She has a great point or whatnot. But the deal is that, well, are people really going to want to listen to you just based off the fact of how you got here? Being that it's only because Urban Meyer, are we really going to want to listen to you? Because so you could argue that, okay, well, players don't really listen to coaches. Well, dude, it ain't no guarantee they're going to listen to you. And how is that tight end position group going to look at you? And I get it. It's a young team. If any team could pull it off because it's not a veteran team, it would be Jacksonville. But, man, it's not a good look. It's just not a good look. I give him props for being persistent, the whole never give up on your dreams and all that stuff. Like, I hear you. Like, again, nobody works harder than that guy. Like, I get all that. But you talking about the tight end, if there was even the what is it, the AAF that used to be open that's now defunct, I would love to see him go down to one of the, and I think there's even some other lower tier football organization that's supposed to start popping up in the next year or so. Go there, right? Like, go there and earn your way up. The NFL spot and how hard it is. I watched the HBO Hard Knocks. I watch that every single year. And my heart bleeds for these guys who are good, but not good enough, right? And they get held down by the Grim Reaper of the GM of the respective team that's on HBO that season. Where it's like, hey man, look, man, sorry man, look, man, we putting you on waivers, yada yada yada. But, you know, that whole bullshit. Well, you know, we'll keep you around or something. Or, you know what? This is me being nice. I'm in a good mood today. This is me being nice. Put him on a practice squad, bro. And I'm not 100% with that. I'm not 100% with that. But put him on a practice roster, bro. There is no way that he should be. And again, I get it. He's not technically on the team as of yet. But if Herb has his way, he will be. So I'm assuming that that's going to be the case. But man, can you at least put him on practice squad, man? The people, man, I'm telling you, the NFL is so tough to make and it's so hard to stay in. And look, again, now I'm gonna let you rock. Had he been willing when he was in the NFL back in 2011, if I'm not mistaken, 2011, 2012, to be like, you know what, man, I'm going to do whatever it takes to stay in the league. If you want me to play halfback, if you want me to play running back, if you want me to play tight end, I'll do it. But he ain't do that. That's that. If it's one issue I had to pick, that is the one. You scoff your nose up at it earlier, and now because Herb is down there, now you're going to do tight end. The floor is yours, my friend. I've ran it long enough.
You know, bro, I'm gonna be honest, man. You know, I thought you was gonna be happy for Tebow. You know what I mean? You came in with your Tebow.
I just love the trauma that it brings. You know what I mean? I love it.
Okay,
I love the trauma. That's all.
I want to start by saying, you know, man, Tim Tebow may be the hardest working athlete that we've seen all around, man, just holistically.
That's exactly right.
I mean, from the time I seen him at Florida to the time that he spent in the league, he's been nothing but
beast,
motivational, consistent, hard-nosed. I mean, he's the definition of hard work. You know what I mean?
Like, I seen him in person. That dude's bad, man.
And I mean, he's always in good spirits. He's always speaking positivity.
Yep.
He's done everything that people have said that he could not do. I mean, he even he's even won a playoff game when people said that he shouldn't be a quarterback, right. And he beat a prestigious team such as the Steelers. You know what I mean? To win it in the clutch, might I add. You know what I mean? So
absolutely, I remember that.
Man, I mean, talk about a guy. You know what I mean? Like we said, hell of a guy. But man, let me tell you something. Corey, when I got the news, when this came across my phone yesterday, my exact thought was, what the fuck is going on? Followed by, you shitting me right now? Followed by me rewinding the clip and make sure I saw Tim Tebow was joining as a tight end. Because I want to piggyback off something you said, man, that's real important. And why this is bullshit for me. Timothy, I love you. I've even put your name in one of my songs.
Yep.
But go sit the fuck down. Respectfully.
Respectfully. No disrespect.
Go sit your ass in that goddamn college game day booth and call these games on Saturday morning. What is you doing? Timothy, you look really nice in that little suit you be wearing with your hair slicked back on Saturday morning. I love you for that now, man. I was loving you for that. If you in the minor league doing your thing, do that. If it ain't working out, come on back to college game day, man. We love you over there, man. Yeah. I do. Every
He's
Saturday,
real good at that. Yeah.
Man, you great. Every Saturday, I look forward to hearing from you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But I don't look forward to you on the Jacksonville Jaguars suiting up as a tight end. First of all, Corey, like you said, weren't you offered this position years ago? If memory serves me correctly, they tried to get you to play every position known to man damn near, and they labeled it as a quote-unquote wildcat. You weren't happy with the quote-unquote wildcat, and you weren't happy with being a tight end. I specifically remember you being on record, Mr. Tebow, saying, no, if I have to play tight end, I just quit. That's what you said. That's what you said.
Bingo.
And then you spent some time over at the Jets, I think, as a wildcat
backup,
running back, ball holder for the kicker, I think. Second, third, fourth string. I don't know what the fuck you was doing over there, quite honestly. But I don't know. But boy, let me tell you something, man. If you think that you're gonna suit up as a tight end in this league in 2021 going into 2022 season, please don't. You have been out of the league. And like you said, Corey, this ain't basketball. This is grown man football.
Them roster spots are a premium.
And you trying to tell me that you think, let me tell you something. I'm not doubting that you don't have the will to play tight end.
No question. No question.
Because I know you have the will to do anything on earth, Tim.
Not even a question.
I'm more questioning what the fuck is Urban Meyer smoking, and can you pass it to me? Because I would love to smoke on the strain that you had, Mr. Meyer.
Herb is smoking that herb.
Yeah. He might got his own strain. Cause it appears to be some delicious type fruity shit. Because like I don't understand what you were smoking on that said, yo, Tim will be fine for this spot. Even if we're gonna go with Molly Karen on ESPN, her theory, to be a locker room guy. You know what I mean? To be an extra coach voice or whatever. Herb, you really thought that would be a smart room for that locker room? To further your point, it is a 52, 53-man roster. There are specific 53 men for different positions. That's and right. You think that locker room was that it was going to go over smoothly with that locker room of him coming in there just because he's your guy that he's going to walk in and be a man on this roster? Even if you're the fourth string tight end, you think that I don't feel some type of way coming off a practice squad situation or an undrafted situation when I'm a young guy coming in like 2021, 22, trying to scrape my way to make a name for myself.
That's right.
And here you are handpicking somebody that's been in a suit half this time. Somebody who's been on a minor league baseball roster half this time. You're going to green light this guy to come in to be a locker room guy?
Yep.
Let me say slash a tight end.
Yeah. I'm gonna also say slash coach. Let me tell you something before I let you rock. Just imagine we've all been in a 9-to-5 and things of that nature there. And there's always that one coworker that's technically a coworker, but they act like they're more of management. And whether they act like it or not, you know that they are really close to management. So you don't want to piss them off because you know they got such favor with that management where it's like you probably can't even be yourself because they might go back. Oh, well, you know, Corey, can you believe what he said? Now, could you imagine this being a lot? You know that Urban Meyer and Timothy Tebow are going to be joined at the hip. I wonder how much, and this is hypothetical, I wonder how much them Jacksonville players going to want to open up and really be themselves around Tim Tebow. Even if I disagree with Tim Tebow, do I really want to upset him? Is Herb going to get rid of me because I can't get along with Tim Tebow? Not even get along, because I disagree with him on how he got here. Like you said, I'm giving him the side eye just because how you got here. Well, you need to shake that shit off or else you can find somewhere else to play.
Hey, you know what, Corey? You're right. And I hadn't even really thought about that being the mental of, you know, of a player in that locker room, first string, second string, whatever. I was more thinking about it from you didn't work hard enough to get here standpoint. I hadn't even thought about it like that. I might not want to disagree with this guy, or I might have to walk on eggshells around him. You're right, and carrying that along with the NFL season can get stressful. That can get stressful, man.
There you go.
And there you go. And that's unwanted stress that Urban is bringing in that he probably haven't even thought about yet. And here's the other thing for me, Corey. Like, to further your point, and I want to bring up somebody to further my point, and as your point as well. He's had this opportunity before when he was way younger and in better shape. I'm not going to deny his shape. I don't know what type of shape he looked like he's in great shape.
Yeah, right.
But Father Time is undefeated, like we all know. You can't do things that you used to do 10 years ago, 6 years ago still. Certain things.
Yeah.
I'm speaking from an NFL standpoint specifically, really. And now you want to come in your later heyday and try to pull this tight end bullshit off. I don't like it, man, and I don't like it because I remember. And for the people that's listening and watching and don't know, I'm a huge Michigan fan of football specifically. I love the basketball program too, but I'm a diehard Michigan football fan. And we used to have this guy, and I know you remember because you know your sports, by the name of Denard Robinson. Denard Robinson.
Yes, sir.
Man, he was an awesome quarterback in college to the point.
Yes.
I think he was the last guy who made the cover of the NCAA football video game back in 2014.
Yeah.
Man, he was an awesome guy, hell of a quarterback. But when he got to the league, it was discrepancies about his height. Was he big enough? And they wanted to also switch his position. And he went along with it. He was what they call a slash. And shout out to Cordell Stewart, by the way, who was the first slash.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But he was what they call a slash. He played some quarterback, but when he got to the league, he was more so a running back. And he stayed in the league. He stayed in the league with the exact same team, the Jaguars, for about 3 or 4 seasons, or maybe 5. And I bring him up to say, when he might have wanted to be a quarterback, but when he found out what was best for the team, what would be best for him, he didn't put out statements saying, "Oh, if I can't be a quarterback, I'm out of here, or I won't do it." He said, "Hey man, will it make the team?" I'm assuming he said, "Hey man, will it make the team better?" Because he did it for 4 seasons at least, and he did it whether he liked it or not. He did it, and that's the problem I have with Tim Tebow. You had this chance already. What are you doing?
Yeah.
And Urban, what are you smoking? Because I don't see this situation going well if he gets a slot on roster as a tight end or him being a locker room guy. It's a disaster in my opinion, because I don't know. I can't think of anybody that will respect somebody who they didn't feel didn't work to get there and was handpicked, and they didn't claw them straight to get there. I'm sorry, especially in the NFL. I don't see it happening.
Yeah, that's 110% correct. Michael Vick was on Undisputed I want to say the other day, and he was basically talking about, this was back when they announced that Tebow could possibly be doing it, not this was even before yesterday, before he got offered a contract and whatnot. And he was basically like, yeah, there's probably people that will at least give me a workout right now. This is what Mike Vick is saying. But he said, look, that's me playing at the quarterback position, a position I've been playing my whole life. He said, this guy has not played in 6 years, and you're coming into a brand new position cold. Dude, the thing about it is with tight end, and look, and this goes back to what you were saying, we don't know what type of shape he's going to be in. He's going to have to pick up some weight, because I think he was last listed roughly around that 220, maybe that 220 range or something like that. Okay. Where you're going to be blocking people. You're going to be blocking people that's in their 250s to try to run over and get to the quarterback if you want to be a blocking tight end. Or whatnot. So you got to be able to move people against their will and have your hands in the dirt in a stance to be like, hey, my will is stronger than yours. You ain't gonna move me, I'm gonna move you.
Absolutely.
And that's the whole, and you got people who, like, to me, I just think it is so, they're even suggesting of it is disrespectful to your Hall of Fame tight ends like your Shannon Sharps, your Tony Gonzalez, I mean, so forth and so. I mean, even your Greg Kittles, Jimmy Grahams. I mean, these guys, man, they work their ass off to be some of the greatest tight ends to ever lace them up. Thank you. I mean, come on, man. And the fact, because see, if I didn't know any better, man, here's how I'm looking at it. Oh, I'm picking tight end. Let's just say if I'm Shannon Sharp, a Hall of Fame tight end guy, or Tony Gonzalez, I'm also looking at it from the standpoint of, well, why did you pick tight end? Why not running back? Because the reason why I say this is because the learning curve from college to the NFL is the easiest for a running back. Easiest, not easy, but out of all the positions, they're like, from what other NFL players said, you could kind of come in from. That's why you normally see like your Ezekiel Elliott the first couple of years. You see your boy, Jonathan Taylor, who could come in from Wisconsin cold and basically have an impact their first year. You look at your Saquon Barkley's, who Giants who come in straight off gate. You look at your Christian McCaffrey's come in straight out of the gate and make an immediate impact. Yeah. There you go. But you know, with other quarterback, you could argue it's the hardest. So what are you trying to say about the tight end position? Is that do you think that that's the easiest one to jump into?
Okay.
Wait a minute, Timothy Tebow. What are you saying about my position if I'm Shannon Sharp or Tony Gonzalez? What are you saying about my position? You saying it's easy? You haven't played it since high school. You saying it's easy to? Oh, whoa. So you saying it's easy to do what I do? Come on, man. Come on, man.
That's a good point.
That's how I would be looking at it if I was them. That's how I would be looking at it. Look, I do IT for a living. And I get annoyed every time I hear these little dumbass commercials. Oh, we'll get you certified in IT in under 6 months and we'll have your job. Motherfucker, it ain't that damn easy. It ain't easy to do what I do. It ain't that easy to do what anybody in their profession who's been doing it for a long time, whether you're an entertainer or what, you don't just walk into and be like, oh, I'm going to pick that one because it's easy. You pick your profession no matter what it is because you love it. You love playing that position, right? And I give you the quarterback thing. But again, if this is what it takes to keep me in, let me still be a halfback, a running back, a tight end, or whatever, while I could still have ambitions of being a quarterback. You could do. He turned his nose up at it, and I know we done talked about it 30,000 times, but what are you saying about my profession? Or in this case, what are you saying about my position? What is about a tight end that makes you think it's easy for you who never played it, and you who – Michael Vick said the fact that I haven't even played football in such a long time at my natural position, it will be hell for me to do so.
Yeah.
You ain't played football in 6 years and you're going to a new position. Child, please, as Chad Ochocinco would say. Child, please. Come on, man.
We're going to see what happens, man. We're going to keep our eye on it. And
yes, sir.
We calling it here. It's going to be a disaster. You know what I mean? We want to be on record saying that. So if we're wrong, we'll be wrong, but we don't think that we're going to be wrong in this case. No. I don't see
highly doubtful.
No. You know what I mean? Before we get up out of here, though, man, I just want to send our condolences to Tarik Cohen. If you don't know, haven't heard the news, Tarik Cohen of the Chicago Bears recently lost his twin brother, Tarik Cohen. From what I've been hearing, it wasn't any foul play involved. They found him near like some kind of electrical spot, and they
substation.
Yeah, substation. There you go. And saying that it looked like he was trying to climb some of the electrical equipment and got electrocuted. You know what I mean? Which is I can't even imagine.
No.
Getting electrocuted, period. But just losing your twin brother on top of that.
Twin brother.
And the police department were saying that Cohen had fled the scene of a car accident Saturday morning around 2 a.m. I can't speak to that. I don't know too much about that. I'm not here to elaborate on that. I'm here to just send our condolences, man, to Mr. Cohen, man. Especially, Tarik being a former Aggie. I'm a former Aggie myself. So it's only right I just send, condolences out, man.
Yeah.
Man, just I can only imagine, man. It's tough.
I can't imagine at all. You know, I got a younger brother. You know, we're 8 years apart. I got people who I consider brothers. But the little bit that I do know, I do have cousins in my family that are twins. And I think it hits a bit different when you're, you know, especially, you know, I don't know if they were identical or not, but, you know, to me, a twin's a twin.
Right.
You do everything together. You know, you keep things from your parents where it's just y'all two that get each other. And salute to you, because I didn't even know about this story before you sent me the show notes earlier this morning.
Yeah.
So I had no idea. And like you said, as a former alumni myself, you know, yeah, this I can't imagine what that guy is going through, because he's literally your other half. Like, I mean, you did everything together. Again, my brother and I, we're 8 years apart. He's 8 years younger. So we've kind of always did our own thing. We didn't do but so much together until we got older. But, you know, you're talking about, you know, your twin, man. I mean, automatically having a built-in bodyguard where it's like, hey, you mess with me, you mess with my brother, you messing with me. You know, I kind of had 8 years solo of kind of handling myself with that. And I just, like they said, you know, they suspect he may have been electrocuted. Again, don't know what issues led up to it, who's right, who's wrong. This ain't even really the time for that. It's just that the condolences goes out to that, and pray for Tarik and his family and Aggie Nation and anybody else who's affected by his passing, man. That's tough.
Yeah, man, we just want to do our due diligence and send our condolences from the Zone podcast, man. You know what I mean? Man, we're going to pray for your family, man. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Man.
Prayers up.
Yeah, man. Man, we appreciate everybody tapping in every week. You know what I mean? Hitting us up.
Appreciate y'all.
Calls and texts, comments, whatever, man. We appreciate everything, man, small or big.
Yeah.
We appreciate y'all tapping in, man. You know what I mean? We on episode 9. You know what I mean? We headed to 9 million. We're not playing with y'all. You know what I mean? We giving y'all that raw, uncut Zone Sports podcast talk every time, whether you like it or not. You know what I mean? Whether it be your first time listening, your last time, you know what I mean? We appreciate y'all. You know what I mean? Make sure y'all tapping into the Skyzone.Society network, where y'all can get all the sports talk, web series, you know what I mean? Everything, man. We got it all right here on the network.
I love it.
Make sure you shopping at the Skyzone.Society.bigcartel.com website. Get everything there, man. You know what I mean? Make sure you're following us too on SoundCloud, man. Follow the page, the Skyzone.Society Network on SoundCloud, so you can listen while you're in the car, you know what I mean, while you're at work. You ain't always got to watch it on the YouTube, you know what I mean?
Word up.
You know what I mean? We're going to get up out of here. Corey, I appreciate y'all. Appreciate you. We appreciate y'all. You know what I mean? You know, I'm be hitting you up later this week, Corey, tapping in. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
And you be safe out here, my G.
Hey, you too, man. And I tell you what, man, before I go, I got to do it one more time. Tebow.
I'm out, man. I'm out. You're making me mad all over again before I end the pod, man. I'm going to hit you, bro. Peace, bro.
Peace out. And shout out to Tim Tebow, my man.